Morning, guys. Gonna get started on the new mini chopper again. I say new mini chopper, new old mini chopper, my design, whatever you want to call it. But we've been doing some mock-up. I'll show you where we are on the mock-up. Hopefully I captured enough video on the way here, but I'll try to get more as we go along. Still a little undecided on where we're gonna go with the seat. I'll show you what I'm looking at. This is probably going to be 2 videos. I was hoping to get it done in one, but I figure we'll do one, all the mock-up and the welding work, everything else, getting it laid out, getting the handlebars made for it, and then we'll go from there. Second video will probably be blow it apart, get it painted. So here we go. Hopefully you enjoy where we are, and I think it's going to be pretty trick. It's the first time I've ever tried to do a set of forks on my own, just looking at some pictures, and pretty simple, but I think it turned out pretty neat. So we're going to use it's a rear wheel off a Pocket Rocket. I had a front wheel, but it won't quite fit in between the forks, and because this wheel is the same design, I think what I'll do, well, I know what I'll do, I'm gonna paint the rear one satin black, and I'm gonna tape off some of the same machine stripes. I considered trying to put it in the lathe and kind of run the lathe over it, but it just doesn't seem like it's safe or smart. So, well, shit, I do shit that's not smart all the time. But as you see, we got the rear extensions welded on. We're going to put another pass on those. The forks right now are really just tacked together, but I think they turned out pretty neat. We'll trim these tops off, get them pretty close to flush or just above the welds anyway. I had to make some bushings for my triple clamp pieces because the triple clamp was for like a 5/8 bolt, and this particular Megamoto has a looks like probably a 3/8 bolt that drops down through it, but able to reuse that. The forks, like I said, I just wanted to add some style to them, whatever you want to call it, but I think it gives it a neat old school chopper look, and it will add some support so they aren't bouncy. But flatten the ends of the tubes. Don't mind these welds, they're really ugly right now. It was just getting everything stuck together. Flatten the end of the tubes in the vise, heated them up, then split them and put this tab in there, which acts as my axle mount. Worked out good. And kind of funny, when I put these together, I left this lower piece here a little shifted to the back, because I was going to terminate this bar into there. Well, sure as shit, once I welded the triple tree pieces in there, I put both of them backwards. So at least they're the same way, but they are, so I'll just trim that off as I'm cleaning it up, getting it prepped to paint. So we'll weld a tab on here for a brake caliper, so we'll have a front and rear brake. I've got a couple of, I've got a 5 horse, I've got a 7 horse, got a couple of different motors, but this is a brand new in the box from Go Power Sports, 99 cc. And for a project like this, you just can't not go with something like this. It doesn't have a lot of power, but you know, this is targeted more as a cruise around the car show, pit bike style thing. So it's not made to go super fast, but this is about a 3.5 horsepower motor, and brand new, complete with a clutch and a chain and the chain guard. 79 bucks on Go Power Sports. I mean, you'd be foolish not to take that route. So we will take the exhaust and remake the exhaust. Unsure of how I'm going to do it right now. I'm thinking about dropping it straight down and just putting 2 pipes that live right here, one pointing this way, one pointing that way. But I just sat it on there last night to kind of mock it up, see how it was going to work. You see some pieces I cut out here. We've using scrap pieces, but I think this is how we're going to mount the seat. These Used to be two top ends of a handlebar that I cut off for another piece I was using. So I'm going to trim those down to where they fit in between the frame rails back here. And we'll weld that in. The sissy bar will also support those. And it just so happened to work out in a way where I'm going to bring these pieces over here and sit you down so you can see. This is a piece of a scrap fender that I had. So it just so worked out that this is the old seat on the MotoVox, and with the two handlebars slid over it, I'll weld it all together, right? But this rear fender will sit over and fit perfect right there. So what I'm going to do is I'll weld this together, then I'll weld the fender to it, and we'll put a cross tab to bolt the seat on, or the seat will just bolt directly here. And like I said, these pieces here will be notched, and they'll go on the back side of the frame tubes, with the actual sissy bar is going to be the support for it as well. Undecided on whether I'm going to weld some tabs onto the bike, or if I'm actually just going to put it right on the rear axle. Probably going to do some tabs, because I don't want that sissy bar to be a hindrance when you're trying to change a tire or something like that. But no, it's pretty hokey, but I think it'll work out pretty well. You know, like Derek says sometimes on Vice Grip Garage, is it really a bad idea if it works? So no, I think it'll work well. And we're going to shorten these down just a little bit too, like I said, because they're just slipped on here. So I can cut some of this off to control where that fender lies over the rear tire. But all in all, I think it's coming along pretty well. We'll get back to the build part of it and enjoy. Alright, so ignore all the shit on the table, but got the back side of it cut off. Got the frame extenders welded on, but we're going to put another pass on them as well. And just got the front chopper forks tacked together. They're not complete yet, but the axle connectors are in down the bottom. They're tacked up. Got the support structure, even though it's not really a whole lot of support. Well, it probably actually is a lot of support, not needed, but it just, I thought it would look cool. So we'll finish welding all that up, and I'll run some video while I'm welding that up. I want to finish this rear piece, but I want to get it, I got to get the forks welded up so I can get a front tire on it, get the rear tire on it, so I can determine where exactly I'm going to put the seat slash rear fender piece at. So alright guys, we got the frame sitting out back. It's got some aircraft paint remover on it right now, trying to strip most of the old paint off of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish welding these forks up. As you see, they're all tacked. I think they turned out pretty cool. They're not absolutely, you know, they're true as they could be, but I see this bar here needs to come over this way just a touch. So I'll probably just give it a couple whacks with the dead blow hammer once we get it all welded up. But go ahead and get this welded up, and I'll give you some music. We'll go to time lapse. You can watch me weld. Alright, nobody ever said I was an amazing welder. However, with a grinder, it'll look good. And it's definitely stuck together. Alright guys, that's it for this week. Sorry I missed the last couple weeks. Got busy, got lazy, whatever. Just got started on the new bike. I hope you enjoyed the start of it. We're gonna kick it off again. We'll hopefully maybe not finish it next week, but we'll get it pretty close. We'll get the rest of the fab work done, and maybe we'll get some color on it and get it started going back together, and then we'll have a final video. So we'll call this a 3-part series. So hope you enjoy. See you next week. Bye.